Now it's actually okay. It's on. Headphones on. Got to give it a second here. Okay, Sal, I believe we are live.
Nice.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you, and I am ready.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Just Curious Media. This is That's a Crime. I'm Jason Connell.
And I'm Sal Rodriguez.
All right, Sal, we are back for another crime.
Yeah, and you're really throwing me for a loop here because we got something incredibly gruesome here we're going to talk about.
Yes, this is new for us both. But before we get started,
yes,
a word from our sponsor.
Absolutely.
Support for That's a Crime is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming and offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. And with this exclusive offer, you'll get
20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code That's a Crime at manscaped.com.
That's a heck of a deal, Sal.
A fantastic deal. Really.
Fantastic. So back to this crime. This was a shocker, Sal. And it's very, very recent. So recent, we're about to explain how recent it is. But today we're breaking down the true crime story of the man dismembered parents for discovering he didn't work at SpaceX in 2021. Just the title alone, Sal, just created disbelief in myself. I thought, what's going on here? I mean, what did you initially think? Because we have not spoken. I just sent you the crime and the notes.
I know. Yeah. This is my first time hearing about this just today. This is horrific. And I mean, talk about why, right?
Right.
What? Yeah. So they don't catch you in a lie. I mean, this makes no sense. I don't understand this one at all.
It's so grim and so unsettling. I had to read it. I thought there's no way someone could do this to anybody, let alone their parents. But it's true, Sal. And today, of all days, is 6th day of the trial. So it's been going on this week. This last week, I read about it right before the trial and was like, oh my gosh, we may have to cover this. No one would come back and do a follow-up or an update episode when the trial's concluded. But today, the perpetrator, the murderer, he actually tested positive for COVID-19. So now I don't know how this pushes the trial out or what's going on. COVID's not what it was in 2020, but it's still something. So yeah, this whole story just continues to unfold.
I'm sure the COVID survival rate for murderers is quite high, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And he's young, which we're about to share as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the title states it all in this gruesome crime. But 23-year-old, that's how old this person is, which head scratcher. Like 23-year-old Chandler Halderson from Wisconsin reportedly murdered and dismembered his parents, Bart and Krista Halderson, after they found out that he had fabricated plans to move to Florida for a job at SpaceX last summer. You're speechless.
I am. Well, first of all, I want to know how they found out about the lie, right? Yeah. And then I really want to dig into the family history here. I mean, why is somebody killing their parents because they discovered their lie? I mean, it's an elaborate lie. It's a big lie. It's a funny lie. Right. And they find out and then you kill them. I mean, really, I'm wondering if something led up to this that we don't know about yet.
Yeah. And we don't know the mental makeup of Chandler Halderson. We don't know much more than the stuff we're going to talk about, and maybe more will come out, but I'm assuming there'll be a verdict not too far down the road. But yeah, there's probably going to be some questions we have long after the sentencing occurs.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be an insanity plea. I mean, there has to be an insanity plea in a crime like this. It's not just like you shot your parents. That's horrible enough to shoot your parents.
Yeah.
But to kill them and then dismember them.
Yes.
That's next level horror.
Yeah. So here's what we do know. In the midst of the pandemic, way before he got COVID-19, Halderson, he was living at home with his parents who believed he was working remotely for a local insurance company while finishing up his community college coursework from his room. A lot of people did this, Sal. The whole family's on lockdown, kids still under the main roof. So he's, working remotely, going to school remotely. Then in 2021, he announced that he'd been hired by Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, and will be moving to Florida later that month. He also shared that his girlfriend planned to go with him and that he had already rented an apartment and bought a car. Now, the problem, authorities say, is that none of this was true. Sal, this is truly a web of lies without any morsel of truth. And again, I know we've already kind of talked about it. Why?
Yeah. I want to get into the profile of Chandler. What kind of person does this? What kind of college student was he? What kind of insurance company employee was he?
Yeah, what's his girlfriend say about it?
Oh, how about that? Yeah. I want to hear from people who knew him, because otherwise this just comes out of nowhere. This guy seems like an upstanding young person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes up a lie, gets caught in the lie, and then does something horrific to attempt to cover the lie, I guess. But this doesn't make any sense, because it's not like this is like a Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy type
history
guy
of violence.
Yeah, it's like,
that we know of.
No, but you know what, Jason, you and I have talked about this before. The serial killers, everybody gets wrapped up in the serial killers, and yeah, sure, that's interesting. But the people who just do these one-off things, just
scary, Sal.
That, yes, because
terrifying.
You know what? It could happen to anybody at any time. Who knows how many murderers are hanging out with us and we don't even realize it.
Yeah,
that's
really
creepy.
Is. That's what caught my eye. And I'm sure this headline caught a lot of people's eyes. So according to prosecutors, Halderson was hanging out in his room playing video games all day and waking up early for meetings that didn't exist, so that his accountant father, who was also working remotely during the pandemic, would not suspect anything. Sal, I can't imagine living such an elaborate lie each and every day. Just going through the motions. Oh yeah, the meeting went great, Dad. Meanwhile, you're cranking away on some video games. Like, I can't even imagine.
Now, Jason, let me just share this. The whole idea of lying to your family about your job. Yeah. Okay, but I've lied. No, I've lied to my job about my family. When I was in my late teens,
do explain.
This is a flipping the script moment. When I was in my late teens, I began work for a local newspaper selling subscriptions.
Okay.
Saturday was a big day. They're like, okay, everybody, we're going to meet on Saturday and we're going to get out there and sell subscriptions, right? I was like 18, 19. And I said, oh, I can't work Saturday because I have a son. I got to take him to soccer, and they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, that you had a son?
Sure. I told him that I had a son and that I just was not available. I forgot what I said, honestly. I just said, I have a son. Gosh. I can't work Saturdays. And they're like, okay, fine. So guess what? 9 months go by, let's say. I don't work Saturdays.
Lie.
There you go. So one day my boss says to me, he goes, hey, Sal, how's your son? I go, huh? He goes, your son. I was like, what? He goes, your son? And finally, it was like the third time.
Can't work Saturdays.
he should have done the air quotes like that. But yeah, so I will admit, I lied to an employer about a fake family so that I wouldn't have to work Saturdays. I did that many years ago. Okay. Yeah. But this is next level. Lying to your family about a job that does not exist. And I'm surprised the family bought it in the first place, because he was working at an insurance company. Right. How do you go from insurance to what?
I work at SpaceX now.
Yeah. How do you make that leap? How did they go for that originally? I'd love to know.
I don't know. Back to your white lie. Not a crime, Sal, but definitely questionable judgment there.
Sure. That's all. Well, the big thing is if you're going to lie, and by the way, I do not encourage or endorse. That's a crime does not encourage or endorse lying.
No, we do not.
We do not.
That was a younger Sal Rodriguez.
That was a young Sal. Jason, if you're going to lie, remember
your lie.
That's all.
Exactly. So the guilt and any other issues, demons that Halderson had came to the surface when his father discovered the truth about his son's fake life. Now, Sal, you asked earlier, or you mentioned earlier, you'd like to know how he found out. That we don't know. We don't know what the smoking gun or bullet was that was like, I got you. Yeah. But whatever it was, they were on to him at some point in time, and they confronted him, and his reaction was not good, Sal, as you know.
No.
So prosecutors say Halderson then shot his father to death and sat around and waited for his mother to arrive home a few hours later, shot her too. Cold blood, Sal.
Oh,
And he didn't
terrible.
stop there, as we've talked about as we got going in the opening, but he then dismembered their bodies, scattered the remains in ditches, farmland, and trash cans around the area, which is southern Wisconsin. And so I'd be curious to know what games he was playing in his room. I mean, first of all, I know it's hard to say, oh, but something's going on with this kid. Something helped trigger or push him over the top. And also these cover-up efforts. I mean, it's incredibly thorough, thought about, like, systematically, like kills his father, probably he's planning things, or was he planning this all along? Shoots his mother, and then he goes into motion like stone cold killer.
Yeah.
But as you point out, in the past, over other episodes, authorities are always seeking motivation in these types of investigations. So although he's very methodical and he's going to dismember them and try to, like, nobody, no crime, right? Kind of thinking, who in the hell does he think they're going to pin this on? Some random act of violence or something?
No, because you know what? I've seen some cases where people are convicted even without a body.
Okay,
you can be convicted for murder without a body. Once upon a time, you really couldn't.
Yeah.
But I believe today
it's changed. There's DNA, there's different evidence. Yes.
There you go.
And we're going to get into the mounting evidence in a minute, but please go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think the only thing the defense is going to have is just try to get him off the death penalty. I think this is one of these cases where he's surely going to be found guilty, but it's either going to be guilty by reason of insanity, or he's guilty, but he's going to get the death penalty, or he's not going to get the death penalty. Florida does have the death penalty. Yes,
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually in Florida right now, but not covering this case. So ironically, I'm just in Florida. But
you
I had to get down here and cover this.
Yeah. On the spot reporting, right there in Florida. Yeah, you're in a very, very beautiful place.
Yeah, this is where. Yeah, we came down to get away from the snowstorm just in time, and we're here as what do you call them? Snowbirds. I guess now I'm officially a snowbird. But we're doing our show here, and I just thought, wow, that's interesting. Ironically, quickly, just to change the pace real fast, on the way down, I passed signs referencing things from other shows we've done. And I nearly took photos. So when we were coming down, we cut through the Carolinas and Virginia. We stayed in Virginia one night, and then we cut through the Carolinas, and then we got to Florida, Georgia first. But as we came through Virginia, I saw a sign for Roanoke Valley. And that reminded me of our ATM bandits, because they went across the Roanoke Valley and took all that money from people. Nice. And then as we got into Florida, I saw a sign for Cocoa Beach. And remember Jamal Dunn, who drowned in Cocoa Beach in the pond? Wow. I was like, oh my gosh, Sal's going to freak out. I'm doing on-spot, post recording, showing up and getting some shots. So anyway, I thought of that as I drove down. It was really interesting.
That's kind of meta.
It was, and I didn't come here for this case. It just happened to, I'm always looking for things. What are we going to cover? And I thought, although he's not convicted yet, as you just said, he's in all likelihood going to be found guilty. So I felt confident moving forward and calling, doing this, that's a crime. I mean, with or without him, this is a crime, but I think all fingers are pointing to him in this instance.
Yeah. And I think it's just death penalty or no death penalty. I think that's what we're going to see. Our follow-up for this will be, he got the chair or he didn't get the chair, or he got the lethal injection. I don't know. Do they still do the chair anywhere? Or is it lethal injection now, I think, everywhere?
Yeah, I'm not up on my capital punishment.
Well, that's in the U.S. In other countries, they're still doing firing squad.
Totally.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe there'll be more things that come forward. Maybe the girlfriend will go on record. So when we do come back and do an update, if there's anything else, we'll shed light on that too. But
that will be an interesting interview with the girlfriend, because I bet you there were some clues.
Yeah.
There's always these clues. And when it finally blows up, you go through that Rolodex in your head. You're like, things start to make sense. And I remember when they said this. I remember when they did that. I would love to see an interview with that girlfriend.
Well, I mean, we're lucky that she's alive, because why wouldn't she also confront him had she found out sooner, right? I mean, her life's about to change if she's really going to go with him, right? If that part was true.
Wait, did he lie to her too?
Yeah.
He lied to the parents.
As far as I know, that's my understanding. So it's my understanding.
She got off. And
I thought initially, did he make her up? But no, there was evidence there was a girlfriend. But yeah, just think if she was the one who said, "Hey, what the heck's this? You're just playing video games." I mean, she would know more than his parents know in all likelihood. You might be able to get things by your parents, but who, they got their own stuff going on, but when you're dating someone, they're going to really know what you're up to.
Yeah. And you know what, Jason, regarding the video games, I'm not one of these people who, I mean, I don't like some of these video games. Some of them are very brutal. I've seen some of these video games, and I don't think people should be playing some of these video games.
Are certain people.
Okay, but that's another story. But you know what? I don't necessarily believe in the relationship between you play wicked video games, you're going to go kill people, because there are plenty of people that watch. I have wonderful friends who are horror fans. They're not out there dismembering people, so, you don't know. I don't think there's any official concrete evidence that shows
No, I know
what you call causal relationship between video games and murders.
But I would be curious to know the games he was playing.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Just out of the curiosity in me wants to know.
I am absolutely curious to know what people do when people like this are apprehended. I want to know what they did for fun, what they did for pleasure. I want to know what shows they watch. I want to know what music they listen to. I want to know what pills they took, what drugs they took. I want to know everything all about them.
Well, he is apprehended, so learn everything you can about someone who's capable of such things. So back to what we know. On July 7th, 2021, Halderson reported his parents missing and told authorities that he had received a text message from them during 4th of July weekend saying that they had reached the family's cabin in Langlade County safely. So he's trying to sprinkle in a timeline, sounds like, got that text message and, they're out of pocket for the holiday. Well, Sal, it was later determined that no one had actually been at the Haldersons' cabin that weekend. They checked, no signs of anybody. And as the investigation went on, evidence obtained by the Dane County Sheriff's Office became overwhelming. And we're going to ping pong back and forth because we have about 10 different pieces of evidence leading to this massive one at the end that we're just going to go over just to show you and share with the audience exactly what's coming up in court. And this evidence was all found at the Halderson home, which is in Cottage Grove, Wisconsin, just to be precise.
And Jason, he lived with his parents, yes?
He did, at least at this point in time. He may not have and then came back home during the pandemic. Okay. But yes, when this happened, he did live under the roof.
Wow. Okay.
So, and we won't number them. I'm just going to start and then we'll go back and forth. But
Jason, just want to give a shout out to my mother who would kick her kids out at 18. I'm serious. My mom was like, you're 18. Later, and we were all gone. Every one of us was gone at 18. But hey, you avoid stuff like this. How about that?
Yeah. So they found an SKS semi-automatic rifle.
I don't know guns. What's SKS? Is like a maker? Is that a maker?
It was a Russian semi-automatic rifle.
Oh, wow.
Powerful rifle. So that was found. Go ahead. Take the next one.
Yeah, sure. They also found a bloody tarp, saw blades, and other cutting instruments. And there's no evidence that he was a carpenter. No, you know what I mean? Why would he have this stuff unless it's for something sinister?
They found blood in a bathroom, the laundry room, and on a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, so he tried to clean up his mess. Man, everything is just saying this guy premeditated. He did the cover up. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he'll go for an insanity plea just because this crime is so weird. But this guy premeditated a murder.
Yeah, this guy does not need to be walking amongst us. Wow. I would say.
We have more.
Yeah, we have
more. More. Yeah, we got more. Halderson wrote a list in the Notes app on his phone, which included lemon and hydrogen peroxide. Jason, I use my notes on my phone all the time. I'm almost paperless in my life. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to go through my notes to see if there's anything that could be incriminating.
Yeah.
Anything at all.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly karaoke lyrics, honestly, but
yeah, a lot of that in there. Near Bart Halderson's computer, which is the father, there was a piece of paper containing approximately 50 usernames and passwords, Sal.
Interesting. You think those were Chandler's or his father's?
I think Chandler was trying to get access to his parents' computer.
Ooh,
trying that. What could the password be? What's the username?
So what was he trying to do there? You think maybe move some funds around, maybe steal some money, maybe?
Well, it could have been financial. It could have been if there was we're about to share some light on the next one. Go ahead.
Wait,
that'll relate to this.
Hang on, Jason. This reminds me of something I've talked about before with some other friends. If the authorities say we found stuff on your computer, that doesn't prove, quote unquote, that it was you who put it on your computer. All they know is they found stuff on your computer. So what he was trying to do here, he was trying to access his parents' accounts so they can say, hey, look, my parents were on their computer at this time. They logged into their Bank of America account at this time.
And that too, absolutely. Or if there was emails going back and forth.
Yeah,
or
how about that?
So
how about he sending emails to the wife, and the husband sending emails to the crazy. This is crazy. Okay. Wow. On the actual computer, there was an email from Krista Halderson to her husband with the subject line, Madison College.
I'm assuming that's the school he went to.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming also the fact that maybe the ruse was up. They knew that he was no longer enrolled, or it was no more data. I would have loved to know the body of the email, but that was all that was shared.
Wait, so the Madison College subject line, do they think that was a legitimate email or one of a phony email sent by Chandler?
I think the former. I think they do believe it was a real email from Krista, his mother, to his father.
The jig is up, basically. Yeah. That's what that was.
Right.
Wow. Okay. And also, 3 Google.
Oh, that's mine. You're taking mine.
I'm taking your line.
Yeah. Stop that, man. It's insanity. So yes, 3 Google Home Mini devices were unplugged, Sal, and it was theorized that could have been done to prevent them from recording any audio. Now, Sal, I have a Google Home Mini, and I also have 2 Alexas, and I never think about that, but it's true that, they're always kind of in listen mode. And I believe there's always a little bit of a playback. So he's thinking like, what happened? Gunshots, people walking in, scream, whatever it was. He's unplugging them, freezing that, Now it's a theory. Yeah. It's a theory. But how often do you unplug these smart devices, let alone all 3 of them?
Yeah. I mean, like right now, here I am recording.
Yeah.
I have turned off, I unplugged the phones, the landlines here. I'm here at a timeshare resort. Yep. I unplugged the phones and I turned off the air. I turned off the heater, just any blowing air. I turned that off. Right.
Guilty.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, at this time he turned off. Why would a person do that? Yeah. Why would a person turn off the air conditioner? Yeah, this guy's got to be guilty. I mean, come on.
And we still have 3 more to go.
Oh my God, this guy is so guilty.
All right,
is this me now?
This is you.
I can't believe this guy. Hidden inside a pair of shoes in the garage was a foil-wrapped package which contained 2 cell phones and Bart and Krista Halderson's driver's licenses. Why would anybody have anybody's driver's license besides their own? Maybe your kids, maybe, but why wouldn't your kids have it? The only time you would have someone else's driver's license is if they maybe lost it and you're trying to return it to the lost and found. Otherwise, we only have our own driver's licenses, nobody else's.
Wrapped up, hidden in a shoe with their cell phones. I mean, you could just have this evidence right here and all signs point to Chandler.
Yeah. You don't have to be a true crime sleuth.
No.
Or a true crime junkie to appreciate that all signs point to guilty.
And if you're not sold yet, wait till you hear these last 2.
Oh, yeah.
A freestanding freezer, one of those big ones, Sal, freestanding freezer, which was open and clean. Okay. But it was also not in the home the day Halderson reported his parents missing. Authorities came, they checked the place out, and they realized, hey, that wasn't here then. Now this is here and this thing's clean. And obviously it served a purpose. It kept bodies in for X amount of weeks.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So gruesome. This is next level. I'm surprised I haven't heard about this one before, because this is extra gruesome.
Well, share the last detail, which to me is too much to even, it's too much. It's too vivid. It's far too gruesome.
Yeah. Who was the guy in Wisconsin?
Halderson?
He had wait, is this Wisconsin? This is Wisconsin. Who was the famous guy in Wisconsin? He killed people, put them in the freezer. He worked at a chocolate factory.
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Jeffrey Dahmer. He was Wisconsin also, I believe.
Oh, okay.
This guy, we're going to find out. This guy took a page from Dahmer. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Because the authorities found human skull remains in the fireplace.
Gosh.
Wow. Because we got a freezer involved, we got dismembering, we got remains, we got skulls now. This guy's next level. And you know what? A guy like this, if you're capable of this,
Yeah.
Were he not caught, he would have done this again. This is not a one-time thing. This guy would strike again.
Oh, I got away with it. I'm going to do this. Yeah. Had he not chosen his parents when all this evidence was mounting? Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You got a Dexter on your hands all of a sudden.
Wow. Oh my God. This is horrific.
Yeah. So as we just talked about, I mean, people are definitely innocent until proven guilty. But in this case, all signs point to a guilty verdict. And we will definitely come back and update our audience when that happens.
Jason, the whole innocent until proven guilty, I absolutely believe that, in the sense that I believe everybody deserves a fair trial. Everybody deserves an opportunity to stand before the judge or jury, to have their attorneys, all that. Everybody deserves that. Every human deserves that.
Yeah.
But sure, he's guilty. He's guilty, right?
Yeah. We got it. We got it.
We got to do this, but come on. Wow.
Well, this will shock you maybe a little because we're talking about insanity plea, but here's what I assessed from more of the reporting out there. Chandler Halderson has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide in the deaths of his parents, Bart and Krista Halderson. He is also accused of 2 counts of providing false information on a kidnapping, 2 counts of mutilating a corpse, and 2 counts of hiding a corpse. Now, Halderson's defense claims he didn't actually murder his parents, nor did he dismember their bodies. He was just a kid who happened to really be into video games. So I don't even understand that statement.
Well, like you said, we need to know what video games he was playing that I think are supposed to. Okay, in other words, I was just a kid who was into video games. Okay, yeah, what video games?
Yeah,
we want to know
Kart.
that. Yeah. Was it Burger Time? As a kid, Burger Time was the only game that my mother would give me money to play because she found it to be the most innocent. It was the most innocent and playful. It was a cute little guy making
but you
burgers.
could still die.
Well, yeah, but at least I wasn't. Yeah. What, could you? Yeah, you could. That thing would come out and eat you, I think. Okay, well, whatever. Maybe she just liked burgers. But the point is, there's a lot of horrific games going out there. What games did he play? But still, aside from the games, forget about the games. What evidence is there to tie him to the murders? It seems like there's plenty. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what this consequence will be for this crime.
Well, he pleaded not guilty. That was the insanity opportunity right there. It's like, I
didn't do it. That's just straight up. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. And I was playing games, and all this evidence wasn't me. I mean, he might have some other disorders, Sal. Split personality going. Who knows? Who knows?
He obviously, surely there's going to be some psychotic schizophrenia. Yes. Absolutely. But I also do want to hear more from the girlfriend, not only because I want to hear about what she has to say about Chandler, rather.
Yeah.
I want to know if she knew anything about the murders. Is she in on it? Was she in on it? Sometimes couples will do things. She'll turn on him, so she gets a reduced sentence. We've all seen that sort of thing. Yeah. But I want to know if there's any incriminating evidence towards the girlfriend at all.
Yeah, me too. So according to reports in the courtroom, Halderson has sat stoic and looking straight ahead. Nothing. Like, that's who we think this guy is based on this evidence and what he's capable of doing. And so I would absolutely, without a doubt, the minute we know something, we should probably do a special episode.
Yeah. We definitely got to follow up on this. And I'm big on follow-up. I like follow-up. I want to know follow-up. If I hear about a story a year ago, a year later, I'm sitting around like, whatever happened to that case? Whatever happened? I want to know what happened. So yeah, I want to be true to the standards that I would wish everybody else would be. And that would be a follow-up. We want to know what happens. We want to know what the outcome is, what the sentence is. And hell, what his life is like behind bars, because I'm sure he's going to be behind bars. I don't think he's going to get off on this.
No.
As far as the sentence, that's going to be the big surprise. As far as the sentence, the state of Florida, I mean, there's so much stuff regarding Florida with the whole stand your ground laws and all that. But as far as their sentencing, would something like this be, deserve a slap on the wrist, the equivalent of a slap on the wrist, like 25, 30 years would be like a slap on the wrist, right? Life sentence would be good. Death sentence, and if Florida has it, then that would be more appropriate. So we'll see. We'll see where this is going to wind up.
I'll go down to the courthouse tomorrow since I'm in Florida and stop by.
Walk down there and stand your ground.
Halderson still has COVID. We're waiting. Well, here's some sidebar as well.
Yeah.
I am just curious if there's been any statement from Elon Musk or SpaceX at all. Just the littlest thing, because to separate themselves from this as quickly as possible, because that's getting lost in this. That definitely helps make the sizzle, the headline, like SpaceX. Not to throw them under the bus or say they're associated or affiliated, but just some sort of statement.
Well, I don't think we're going to get any statement because
we received no application, nothing. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Well, how about that's a very interesting.
That's
question.
What I meant.
So was the whole lie just completely made up, or did he submit an application?
Yeah.
Did he have an interview at some point? Was there an email correspondence?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Because they could say we had absolutely no contact.
We have no record of, Chandler Halderson. So it's a horrible thing. We wish the family well. Exactly. And maybe that's gone. I've been looking. So I'll definitely keep you posted and our audience posted. Wow. And that's all I got in this really very, very, maybe the most horrific, one of the most horrific crimes we've covered. And the man dismembered parents for discovering he didn't work at SpaceX in 2021.
But we have not covered any dismembering, right?
No.
Yeah. So as far as gruesomeness, as far as horror, this is right up there. I mean, look, a death is a death, right? Lives lost are lives lost, but brutality, wickedness, evil, right? Yeah. This is not an accident. He did not accidentally kill his parents. I mean, wow, this is intense.
He killed them and had no remorse, and then just took it further and further and further. So,
well, you know what? Okay, I'll just say this then, and we'll check in again on the follow-up episode.
Okay.
Whatever penalty Florida allows.
Yes. To the
go
fullest.
ahead. Go ahead. Give it to him. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And rest in peace to Bart and Krista Halderson. Very tragic, very sad. I'm sure the family extends beyond, just them, aunts, uncles.
Yeah, we don't know about any siblings or anything. Right?
Nothing else. Nothing else. But I'm glad we covered it. We'll come back and do an update for sure. Another crime in the book. Sal, great work.
Yeah, thank you. And Jason, do me one favor.
Yes, sir.
Let's lighten up a little bit on the next crime.
Hey, what do we cover on That's a Crime, Sal?
I know we cover everything from a misdemeanor to a murder. So how about we cover a nice heist?
Go over there.
Let's do a nice heist, maybe an identity theft.
We do a good job of mixing up, of course. And this was timely and relevant. And absolutely, I'm with you. I love those heist episodes. So unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code thatsacrime at manscaped.com.
So thank you so much for listening. And please be sure to subscribe to the That's a Crime podcast, as well as the That's a Crime YouTube channel live. Let me do that again. YouTube live channel. You can also really help us by giving the show a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast.
And for all you listeners that enjoy sharing your thoughts, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, send us a direct message, or post a comment on any That's a Crime social media platform.
We also highly recommend checking out our other podcast and visiting justcuriousmedia.com.